everybody. This is winning at the next level, guys. President Donald J. Trump, VP J.D. Vance have both made calls and secured the votes for some big changes in amendments into the big, beautiful bill that is going to affect everybody. And you know this, guys, that only Trump could do what I'm about to say, guys. Kevin Haskett, one of Trump's boys, just came out and said that the average American family will now get, with this big, beautiful bill, $10,000 a year. This is one of Trump's pit bulls who's bringing the receipts, guys. We got all this for you, but this is some of the biggest news ever. Trump is not playing around with putting America first, bringing in the money, guys, from the tariff revenue, the external revenue service. We are winning so much. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because I'm telling you, $10,000 for the average American family wins you the midterms in a big, huge, monumental red wave. And not only that, because again, Trump has his people making changes, guys, making things happen. Right here, it's beautiful. A new bill has just been introduced and put on the floor by none other than Marjorie Taylor Greene, who this new bill will fast track the Census Bureau to conduct a new census immediately upon enactment of the bill. Guys, we told you, guys, we have been right on this. I'm telling you this, TrueLife News, we're bringing the news, guys, and what I'm so excited about is now an estimated lost seats for the Democrats will be 27 seats lost, guys. You cannot make this up. The new bill would enact a new census upon enactment, upon approval, upon passing. Guys, this will change everything for the midterms, for Trump's agenda, for the policies. Just like I told you, the average American family getting out $10,000, guys, from this big, beautiful bill. It is beautiful. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because I'm seeing Marjorie Taylor Greene becoming the next Speaker of the House, guys, because she is doing things that is 100% MAGA, 100% America First, that Mike Johnson, I've never seen come from him, guys. Let me know your thoughts on Marjorie Taylor Greene or Mike Johnson. But right now, there's so much that is happening, guys. We got the feud is back again between Elon Musk and Trump over this big, beautiful bill. Elon Musk hates it. He calls it disgusting. He announced that he will officially launch. Elon Musk said he will officially launch the American Party the next day if and when Trump's spending bill passes. MAGA, American Party, guys, this is big. So let me know your thoughts, but this is what I love, guys, is that people are coming over to the good side, to the light. They're seeing the actual light. New polls are out that Trump is the most loved Republican president, even beating out Ronald Reagan. People not only believe in Trump, but they believe that he truly wants America First policies, and he will do whatever he needs to do to make that come alive. And what he's doing is exposing the deep state with what I'm about to show you next, guys, because this is what we need to do. We cannot get rid of them if we don't expose them. But what I love, guys, is the receipts just keep on coming. The news left-wing news outlet CNBC was forced to recognize that Trump's tariffs have brought in over $121 billion to the U.S. without imposing a burden on the consumers. It's almost like the experts were wrong again, guys. This is the winning. And not only that, Trump's DOJ has begun prioritizing stripping naturalized citizens of their U.S. citizenship when they're charged with crimes. So if you're here, you weren't natural born citizen, you got here by visa or some other way, you commit a crime, your butt's out of here. Trump is not playing around anymore, guys. When he's talking about giving the average American family $10,000, we want to make sure it's to people that love America, put America first, and want to do what's best for America. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to all of our viewers, our subscribers. Guys, if you're not subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button, joining our family here at TrueLife News. We want you here. Hit that subscribe button so that we can serve you every day with the top news. Guys, there's so much breaking news, and you know here at TrueLife News, we are either a day or 2 days ahead of mainstream media. We show you the receipts. Want to say thank you to all of our members of the channel, and thank you to everybody that gives a super chat donation. Remember, we take this money and we donate it live on stream on the 22nd of every month to a local charity. This month will be to a local children's home to help out kids that ain't got nobody, but they got us. I want to give some love to Elaine Demeen. Show Elaine some love in the chat. OG of the channel, guys. If you don't mind doing us a huge favor of hitting that thumbs up like button. We got a big show for you today, guys. Some breaking news is going on where this new $10,000 going to the average American family when this bill gets passed. This new party called the America Party coming out from Elon Musk. And then also Marjorie Taylor Greene putting a new bill on the floor that would effectively make the U.S. Census Bureau conduct a new census immediately upon enactment. The literal Democrats would lose 27 House seats by not counting illegals as in the census, guys. This is big stuff what we got for you today. The deep state is getting smacked around. Check this out.
It is set to vote on Trump's big, beautiful bill, and the White House would like it to be signed by July 4th.
And we're carrying out a revolution of common sense, and all of that is packed into this one big, beautiful bill. It delivers the largest middle and working class tax cuts in U.S. history. It keeps America safe by funding the largest ever one-time investment in border security. It's enough to reverse the Biden border invasion. And every single Democrat is against that. Republicans need to stay tough and unified during the home stretch, and we are counting on them to get the job done.
But what actually makes it into the final vote might not be decided by senators or even people who are elected. Look, it doesn't matter if you have a majority if you're not willing to wield that power, or if some bureaucrat can decide what can or can't be in certain bills that are actually being voted on. You ever heard of someone named Elizabeth McDonough? Well, me neither. She was appointed as Senate parliamentarian by far-left Harry Reid and has been there since 2012. Her role is literally deciding unilaterally what can or should, I should say, be taken out of these bills under the guise of procedure. Now, according to the Senate, quote, the parliamentarian advises the presiding officer, senators, and their staffs on all matters requiring interpretation of the Senate, the standing rules of the Senate. And this kind of illustrates my frustration with Republicans, particularly Senate Republicans, because it's supposed to be a nonpartisan advisory position that can be overruled. It's advice, not law. So I just got a couple questions for John Thune. If this is in fact nonpartisan and just an advisory position, why, under the Byrd rule, she has removed or forced the Republicans, majority held Senate, by the way, Republican Senate, she forced a measure to limit federal judges' ability to enforce injunctions or contempt findings against the Trump administration. She ruled this violates the Senate rules because it's not budgetary. Oh, really? It is if a judge is ruling that Trump can't defund USAID or something else. I mean, it seems awful budgetary for me. Thanks for your input, lady. John Thune should have overruled that one right away. She also put restrictions on Medicaid provider taxes, which would have saved $250 billion. Again, seems budgetary to me. Thanks, but no thanks.
Right there, guys. You just heard it. $250 billion while doing what? Right now, all the Democrats are trying to say is that Trump is cutting Medicare. He's cutting Social Security. He's not doing a dang thing with those besides cutting the fraud, waste, and abuse, which is, we've told you guys, $250 billion a year is going to illegal non-citizens with our Medicaid. Guys, you can't make this stuff up. Trump even came out again and said, Trump, we're not touching Medicaid. We're not going to be playing with Medicaid, only waste, fraud, and abuse. The Democrats have it wrong. We take care of Medicaid. They will blow Medicare and Medicaid because they have no idea what they're doing. This is from the Rapid Response 47 team, guys. Right here, when we show you the receipts of what is actually going on, we can see that $250 billion over 10 years is $2.5 trillion. Where do you think all the national debt is going to? It's going to non-citizens, guys. But this is where Marjorie Taylor Greene's new bill of cleaning out all the non-citizens from the Census Bureau will reduce the House Democrats by 27 seats. But what we're also showing, guys, Senator Thune is a rhino if there ever was one. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind, hit the thumbs up like button, guys, because every single thing that they're trying to stop in the Senate, he could have fired her. He could have replaced her, and he hasn't done a dang thing. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Overruled. She nixed provisions to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB, to restrict food assistance programs known as SNAP and the eligibility for non-citizens. She also canned the bill's effort to drop electric vehicles used by the U.S. Postal Service. After she was asked for it to be tweaked, why is she asking senators to tweak things? She then approved it. Oh, really? Gee, thanks. She also blocked, under her non-authority, a measure allowing states to handle border security and immigration enforcement. She also blocked removing the short-barreled rifles and suppressors from the NFA, which is the National Firearms Act, which is a budgetary item because it's a $200 tax stamp per item. Tax, budget, same thing. And Republicans just folded. Again, she's not a final authority on anything. Her entire role is to advise whether or not things violate Senate procedure. And it's not supposed to be a partisan role. So why is she trying to strip out most of the, the epic parts of Trump's agenda? I mean, if she's not partisan. I mean, don't tell me that they all just happen to violate the Byrd rule. This is a residual Democrat in a perceived position of authority telling the U.S. Senate, Republican-held U.S. Senate, that was elected by the American people, that they can't put certain things in a bill. They make the laws, not you, lady.
Guys, and I bring you the receipts, guys. Here it is right here. This person, this was the vote for kicking 1.4 million illegals off of Medicaid. Thune refused to fire Elizabeth McDonough, who she forced the Senate. You would think she was the leader of the Senate. That the Senate needed 60 votes in order to kick 1.4 million illegals off Medicaid. He could have overruled her. He could have fired her. He could have replaced her. But guess what? He didn't do a dang thing, and we lost. So this is something they're still fighting right now, of kicking 1.4 million illegal from Medicaid. That's $250 billion a year in cost to the American taxpayer. Now, you tell me, where does John Thune stand at in terms of putting America first? Thank you so much, Lydia Erickson, for the super chat. Let's go. So Alice made me do it. Well, thank you, Alice. Let's go. Growing the giving. Thank you so much, Pamela Conley, for the super chat. Justin Hart, thank you so much. He said, I just want to say thanks for bringing the truth and giving this to a local charity. Keep it up, brother. Thank you so much, Justin. Appreciate you, brother. And thank you so much, Pamela Conley, for giving 5 TrueLife News memberships. If you got a free membership from Pamela, show her some love in the chat, guys. Growing the family, because what you're about to hear next, guys, this is the road that we are about to take to clean out the deep state.
She, of course, did add that all of the above items could be voted on, but would require a 60-vote majority, basically dooming them anyway. But the Senate just takes her word for it. They could just not listen to her, or they could fire her. It's all allowed, as Senator Tommy Tuberville and Congressman Greg Steube are noting. Tuberville saying, did Harry Reid's Senate parliamentarian not get the memo? President Trump's landslide victory was a mandate from 77 million Americans. The One Big Beautiful Bill delivers on that mandate. The parliamentarian is trying to undermine the president's mandate and should be fired. I agree, Coach. Now, to be fair, Bernie Sanders did once call for her also to be fired when she blocked the raising of the minimum wage in a COVID bill. But then again, what's the point of having the majority if a single unelected person can tell you what you're allowed to vote on?
Guys, folks, and this is the big breaking news right now. The BBB has passed in the Senate with our boy J.D. Vance casting the tie-breaking vote, guys. This is, again, we bring the receipts. I'm sorry, but we want to show you everything right now. Right now, we've officially passed the big, beautiful bill. J.D. Vance cast the tie-breaking vote Karen Lawhorn, welcome to the family. Let's go. And I want to go ahead and show you this, guys, because this is the stuff that changes everything. This is what puts money back into Americans' pockets. This is what grows our economy. I told you, they asked him, what does this big, beautiful bill do? Well, listen to this, because your boy brings the receipts. This is from Kevin Hassett.
What does America get from the big, beautiful bill?
Right. What America gets for the big, beautiful bill is border security, national security, an extra $10,000 in the pocket of the typical American family, no tax.
You just heard that, guys. You just heard it. I told you. This is from Kevin Hassett. The average American family gets $10,000 into their pocket. I want to play it one more time so you can hear it, guys. We bring the receipts.
National security, an extra $10,000 in the pocket of the typical American family, no tax on overtime.
Let's go, baby. I told you. But what I love, too, is that now that we're exposing all this deep state stuff, guys, what you're about to hear next is that this is winning because we have exposed everybody, guys. What I love is that they cannot hide anymore on the left-wing media outlets because everybody knows that they're lying. Listen to this.
Because it's the same Chuck Schumer, when not grilling and putting cheese on barbecues that are not cooked, he almost blew a gasket on Senator Ron Johnson in 2021 when he forced the reading of one of Biden's $2 trillion COVID relief bills. What gives, Chucky? He also said it was an unnecessary delay tactic intended to obstruct. Really? Democrats don't like this bill for obviously a number of reasons. At the top of the list is that Trump would actually get what he wants, which includes a massive tax cut for the American people. Is the bill perfect? No, but it's a lot better than what we got. But they're being opposed to everything in this, including reforms that it brings for illegal migrants. One of which is that 1.4 million illegals will be kicked off Medicaid, which is one of the last incentives for illegals to come here, not yet squashed by Trump. That was under this woman's advice to the Senate, just failed a 60-vote threshold to be added to the bill, 56-44. So as of this moment, as of a little while ago, it doesn't look like it's actually going to be in the bill anyway, unless they tell her to pound sand, which they should, and do it on a 51-vote majority. And you may be thinking, why would anybody, even Democrats, want illegals to receive taxpayer benefits? Well, because Democrats need those illegals here.
Votes.
Why? To bolster their congressional districts, which is also why they're freaking out about this, that Trump may actually remove illegal immigrants from the Census Bureau. This would decrease the number of allocated congressional seats in blue districts, likely redistributing them to red states.
Let's go.
Think about this. Democrats have spent billions of our tax dollars bringing them to big, huge blue cities that are completely unaccountable, and that would be all for nothing. That's really why Democrats are so opposed to Trump's agenda and especially his crackdown on illegal immigration, because it could really cost them the House pretty much indefinitely. But this parliamentarian could single-handedly block that, or seems...
Guys, and you hear that. They could literally take him out. And I bring the receipts, guys. Look, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, she posted on here, my bill would require the U.S. Census Bureau to conduct a new census immediately upon enactment of the bill. In conducting the new census of the U.S. population, it shall require questions determining the citizenship of each individual and count U.S. citizens only, guys. This is what's going out right now. Democrats are estimated to lose 27 seats in Congress. If this passes, they do the census immediately before the midterms, guys. This is what we're talking about for the big red wave. Gregosaurus Galoris, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Let's go. He said, fire Thune, fire parliamentarian, MTG for speaker. I love it, guys. This is big. What we've got right here is the tie-breaking vote has been cast by J.D. Vance for passing the big, beautiful bill. Listen to this.
The yeas are 50. The nays are 50. The Senate being evenly divided, the Vice President votes in the affirmative. The bill as amended is passed.
The one big beautiful bill, baby, has officially been passed, guys. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, we got so much more that is happening because now we're digging into the next steps. But what I love is that Marjorie Taylor Greene is not just ensuring to help win what you're seeing now, but is helping to win what is coming in the midterms with this, guys. This is the stuff that we voted for. Listen to this.
To fight this no compromise on artificial intelligence and the oligarchs. MTG been fighting this fight for weeks, actually told the president, who you totally support, that, hey, as much as I love you, as much as I support you, I cannot vote for the big, beautiful bill if it's got this in it. Folks, last night with Mike Davis and the team, incredible, 99-1 against. It's stripped out. MTG, it also shows you how the oligarchs have been lying to President Trump. They told him, I think at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock last night, we only had 3 votes. Your thoughts, and by the way, we had to play that clip from 1 year ago today when MTG was breathing fire outside of Danbury Prison. And you know what, Congressman? You could make that same speech today. You could make that same speech today, ma'am. How you doing?
Good morning, Steve. Yeah, evidently I could give that same speech this morning. It's outrageous that that's the case. And you would have thought that we would have totally turned a corner from that horrific moment in time. And you served 4 months in prison after that. That was the day that we all surrounded you, prayed for you, and sent you off, sadly, to prison. You were a political prisoner. And God bless you, Steve. We're so glad that you were freed, and God bless everyone listening to this, that we won the election so that we could defeat the war, the real war that is still being waged. But we won a big victory in November. But the war's not over. I just want to thank Marsha Blackburn, Senator Marsha Blackburn. She did an incredible job. She has not had any sleep yet. She stayed up all night long fighting to get the AI moratorium out, and I'm really grateful for her fight. I was engaged with her on the phone all day yesterday and the early morning hours of today on this issue. I had told the White House I couldn't vote for it. There's no way, because we get a vote again. Everybody needs to understand that. It comes back to the House and we get to vote again. There's no way I can destroy state rights, and there's no way I can let AI have free reign and the potential destruction that it could have for 10 years without states being able to protect themselves and the people that live there and their jobs and their children. And it was too big of an issue to get me to a yes on. And I'm just thrilled. And 99-1, that does show you that there's some voices in the president's ear that are not telling him the truth. And you know what? You know who they're serving? They're serving these donors, these big, rich donors that have their very special interest in mind, that came around during this last election cycle, Steve, because they knew Trump was going to win. Trump won with the people. He didn't need these donors, and he doesn't need them now. And we need to continue to stay focused on this. He doesn't need the neocons are all around him, pretending to support him. He doesn't need the neocons.
Guys, I want to show you this because, again, now that it's officially been passed in the Senate, this is big. Right here, Elon Musk has announced that he will officially launch the America Party, the next day if and when Trump's spending bill passes. Guys, is this not the craziest thing? Not only did Elon help Trump win, because he did. He put in $250 million, so he helped out, but now they're fighting again because of the big, beautiful bill. They asked Trump about deporting Elon Musk. And I'm telling you guys, he said, well, that would be a sad thing to see, but Doge is probably going to look into Elon. Elon created Doge, and then Trump said that Doge is going to look into Elon. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, because this is some big stuff that's happening. Never have we had two powerful, just huge, successful businessmen that are putting America first. Elon Musk helped Trump win. I believe he wants us to be fiscally responsible, but at the same time too, I think that sometimes you got to be able to work with what you got, expose the corruption, and then move on from there. Let me know your thoughts about this new America party, guys, because what Marjorie Taylor Greene is talking about, this is all about to be exposed.
He defeated the neocons. He doesn't need the deep state. The deep state is surrounding President Trump now, pretending to support him. He doesn't need the deep state. He has the people. And the people, we are going to be victorious, but this is a war that we have to stay embedded in for a very long time. And we have to make sure that President Trump gets the correct information and that the people's will and the people's voices are heard. And that vote, 99-1, is an exact proof that the people are winning, because without the people calling, without all of you listening, all of the War Room posse calling into members of the House and senators' offices every single day like you have been, this couldn't have happened. All of your posts on social media, you can override the paid influencers. You can override the bot. So you have to stay focused and stay in this fight. And this is how we win it. But humanity is saved for now. But I promise you, Steve, that AI moratorium and maybe worse will come back. We just have to watch for it.
Guys, and when you talk about cleaning out the neocons, you talk about cleaning out the deep state, I want to go ahead and show you this, guys, because, again, this is going to change everything. I promise you, in the next 2 years, with the midterms coming, with Marjorie Taylor Greene's bill of cleaning out and only counting U.S. citizens in the Census Bureau, the Democrats are projected to lose 27 seats in the House. That is insanely a lot. But also, Elon Musk, right here, guys, look at him. 221 million followers, just came out and said every member of Congress who campaigned on reducing government spending and then immediately voted for the biggest debt increase in history should hang their head in shame, and they will lose their primary next year if it is the last thing I do on this earth. Buddy, holy smokes, guys, you're talking about somebody who's got $400 billion. He could take $5 billion and replace 2/3 of Congress. I promise you that. Let me know your thoughts on what's about to happen next, guys, because this is some real stuff coming out from Elon Musk about what's about to happen next. Ernestine Corey, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Let's go. Y'all show Ernestine some love in the chat.
Congressman, what is your social media? You're now a fire-breathing liberal, fire-breathing opponent of the oligarchs. And most importantly, you told the president, hey, I love you. We support you. I'm MAGA. But if this is in, it's got to come out. And he listened. Marsha Blackburn and MTG heroically stood in the breach when everybody else was running and said, this can't happen. And that's why we won. Where do people go to get your social media, ma'am?
Well, a couple of things, Steve. I am posting up a thread today. I've already started it, of contents of the bill, the one big beautiful bill, as President Trump calls it. And I've already loaded it. I've started it. I want you to know there's an important post that starts with over $9 billion.
Hang on. I want you to stick to a commercial break. I want to get to this thread. This thread is very important for people today, particularly as this vote goes on the Senate. MTG, go through right now. You've got a open thread on Twitter. And where do people go for your Twitter account? Because I want people to follow along here. We're going to put it up on the screen. But where do people go to get you on Twitter?
Is $9.995 billion for going to the moon and moon to Mars missions. And you know what I think Americans are saying? They walk out in their cities and their towns and they look at their checking account balances and they look at the cost of groceries and they look at the cost of health insurance and they look at the cost of life in America, especially these 20-year-olds. 20 and 30-year-olds are seeing no hope in their future. And everyone's asking themselves, we haven't fixed America yet, but taxpayers are supposed to fund $9.995 billion for the moon and Mars, and then we have this Elon Musk, President Trump feud turning into a war.
I'm telling you guys,
between each other and talks of a third party being created. I'm sorry, this doesn't fly with me. MAGA is the new party, and MAGA is defeating the old establishment and the Republican Party. And I think that's incredibly important. And I don't know, Steve, if any other member of the House or any senator
Guys, if you're MAGA, let me know in the chat, guys. If you're MAGA or if you're America Party, because listen to this. Elon Musk has pledged to support the anti-AI PAC Kentucky Congressman Thomas Massie against Trump's well-funded primary challenge. So Trump has already came out and launched a huge, basically $100 million PAC to go against Thomas Massie to replace him. Elon Musk has pledged to fight Trump and his PAC to fund Thomas Massie to make sure he stays in office. Guys, this is getting crazy. What I'm about to show you next, guys, is just so powerful over what people think about Trump, Elon Musk. People love Trump right now. Most favored Republican president in history, guys, even over Reagan.
About this over $9 billion, almost $10 billion going to the moon and Mars. But I think I'm the first one that talked about it, but I'll keep adding to this thread that everybody can follow. So you know, I'm doing my best to get the information out, but I think this is where we need to start really having real conversation, and again, not funding what these special interest donors that were new to President Trump, that all came around towards the end of the election cycle when they knew Joe Biden was done and they knew Kamala Harris couldn't win. This is what we're up against now, and it's ridiculous.
So right now is as you see it, there's huge differences between what they're passing in the Senate and what you did in the House. Are you guys just going to rubber stamp this? Johnson's saying he's going to take it right to a vote. Do you anticipate that some of the folks in the House are going to want to say so? But right now, it's still very confusing about illegal aliens on Medicaid that the parliamentarian may have taken out versus the fact we're taking a Medicaid away from American citizens and maybe still paying for illegal aliens. Is the House going to rubber stamp this? Is it going to be like a 24-hour turnaround, ma'am?
I cannot.
Guys, because remember, it's officially passed right now. The bill has passed in the Senate officially 51-50 with Vice President, he used to be a senator, Vice President J.D. Vance being the tie-breaking vote. It is now going over to the House where Mike Johnson is expected to have hey, let's vote for it. Let's get this to Trump's desk and let's get it passed. So this is big.
No, I can't imagine they have the vote. There's no way that Johnson has the votes in the House for this. So just for clarification, my understanding is it currently in the Senate bill that has not passed yet, illegals cannot receive Medicare. However, they can receive Medicaid, which is absurd. So we know blue states will still continue doling it out, where red states will likely not dole it out. I did find clarification because I've been watching it the entire time. There is no funding through Medicaid and CHIP to go to child sex change surgeries and hormones and all that garbage, that incredible lie attack on our children. So that will not happen. However, this bill is nowhere near perfect. It's got a lot of stuff in there that just shouldn't be in there. And we're $37 trillion in debt. It's unbelievable to me that all of this stuff has been packed in. And I don't see how currently right now the votes are in the House.
Guys, so again, I want to show you because this is
MTG one more time. This is your social media.
This is probably the biggest news ever over this $10,000 being put in and given to the average American family. Listen to this.
What does America get from the big, beautiful bill?
Right. What America gets for the big, beautiful bill is border security, national security, an extra $10,000 in the pocket of the typical American family, no tax.
You just heard it, guys. An extra $10,000 in the pocket of the average American family. Trump knows that the midterms are coming up. It's super important for what's happening. But what I love is what I get to show you next, guys, is that people are moving from the independents, from Democrats, and moving to Trump's side because of common sense policies, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Susan Fitzpatrick, welcome to the family. Let's go. Show Susan some love in the chat. And CNN right now has just stated that Trump is the most favorable president of all time, beating out Obama, beating out even Reagan, guys. This is when you know your policies are in the right for we the people. Listen to this.
Yeah, okay, so we're going to look at the strongly approved numbers. So this isn't just Republicans who like Donald Trump. This is Republicans who love Donald Trump. And he's up like a rocket. Look at this. In July 2017, the strongly approved was 53%. That's pretty good. But look at where he is now. 63% of Republicans strongly approve of the job that Donald Trump is doing about 5 months into his presidency. Republicans love Donald Trump the way that Americans love Disney World. The bottom line is 63%. That is a huge, huge base. And of course, it's just part of a Republican base in which about 90% of them overall approve of him, including the somewhat approves as well.
I mean, every politician would like this number here, especially to see it go up. How about compared to other presidents who are Republicans?
Yeah, it's history making. It's history making. What are we talking about here? So why don't we look back? We have all the presidents, Republican presidents, going back over the last 35, 36, 37 years. What are we talking about? GOP, who strongly approved 5 months in. Look at this. George H.W. Bush, Bush 41, 46%. Bush 43, 59. You see Trump, the first term, 53. But look at this, 63%. He beats all the other Republicans on the board here. And I was looking even back since Reagan. And get this, Donald Trump beats Ronald Reagan when it comes to the strongly approved 5 months. And of course, Reagan was coming off that high after that assassination attempt. So the bottom line is Donald Trump is making history with the Republican base. He is more beloved by this Republican base than any Republican base loved any GOP president 5 months in. It is history making.
It is a striking number. Till is stepping down, stepping us.
Guys, that right there, history making right now with what Trump is doing. And what you're about to hear next, guys, again, what they're looking at is what is the midterms going to look like? What is the new Census Bureau? Everybody, Trump is not stupid. He's playing chess. Everybody's playing checkers. He's preparing and already has $1.4 billion to win the midterms and continue his policies. Listen to this.
Joining us to discuss from the White House is Deputy Treasury Secretary Michael Faulkender. Deputy Secretary, great to see you. First and foremost, I wanted to ask, from the position of the administration, what the Senate is trying to give birth to, does this big, beautiful bill increase deficits over the next couple of years?
Great to be with you, Dagan. Great to see you. This bill, in combination with the president's broader economic agenda of rebalancing international trade, deregulation, and bringing certainty to the American people, as well as the reductions in spending that are being pursued. When you bring all of those things together, the president's economic plan is going to reduce deficits. It's going to put us back on a path to fiscal sanity, and we're going to make sure that we target what the real problem is, which is the spending that exploded under the last administration. And so this bill accomplishes more in terms of reductions in mandatory spending than has ever been done in any other piece of legislation that the president has signed. And we are going to continue to show fiscal discipline in the work we're doing on the rescission package with Congress, as well as the budget that we're submitting to Congress. And so this president, this administration is fully focused on making sure that we improve the fiscal situation in this country. And this bill is an extremely important contribution to seeing that happen.
Question for you, Michael, about the dynamic scoring. As a former member of Congress who was always frustrating, the Congressional Budget Office would come out and score a bill, but they didn't take into account the dynamic scoring. For instance, in the last Trump tax cut, they said that, oh, this would increase the deficit and it would do all these negative things. But even though tax cuts came into place, revenue to the Treasury went up. So what kind of growth, what sort of economic growth should the country expect, do you expect, once this bill is passed?
Guys, and I want to show you that where the growth is going to come from, guys, because we bring the receipts. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button right here. Trump put out a post, said Jerome Too Late Powell and his entire board should be ashamed of themselves. They still have a 4.5% interest rates, guys. It is a tragedy. He said we should be paying 1% interest or better. They even put out the world central bank rates, guys. If you see on the screen, United States is 35th with 4.5% interest rates towards the bottom. You got countries like China, Taiwan, Cuba, Sweden, Japan, Cambodia, people that Switzerland, 0.25%. So now that we know Trump has fully called out and said we are going to lower interest rates, we want to get them to below 1%. We now know that Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says that they are working to select a new Fed chair to replace Jerome Powell in the coming weeks. And we know Scott Bessent is a Treasury Secretary, but now he is the leading contender for replacing Jerome Powell as the Fed chairman, which I feel like he would do a phenomenal job with what he's already done already with the tariffs and all the record amounts of money that were being brought in. But what I love, guys, is we're bringing you full context. I'm showing you the receipts. And then also you're hearing from the deputy, one of the deputy chiefs in Trump's cabinet over what's going on with this big, beautiful bill. Listen to this.
Yeah, you've pointed to exactly the issue, which is that if you look at the score that the Congressional Budget Office provides, the economic assumptions that it makes is that without the bill, we'll have 1.8% economic growth, and with the bill, we'll have 1.8% economic growth. Well, that makes no sense at all. When you look at all of the pro-growth activities that the administration is focused on, and in this bill alone, if you bring back full expensing on capital equipment, if you have the R&D tax credit, if you have immediate expensing of new factories, if you provide an interest deduction on the purchase of new cars that stimulates production of automobiles here in the United States, all of those things are pro-growth. And the idea that CBO would say, well, it has no impact and therefore there's no dynamic score effect, we just completely disagree with it. And Jason, you pointed to exactly the episode we should focus on, which is what actually happened after the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. You saw growth come in much higher than anticipated. Receipts went up. We do not have a revenue problem. We have a spending problem. And so what we want to do is bring tax certainty to the American people, provide these new growth incentives, and then tackle the true problem, which is spending.
Well, if the debt ceiling gets lifted this week as it's passed, what I wanted to ask you, what could you ask the bond market or investors to absorb from that? Because the Treasury will have to replenish its cash account, and the national debt will reach $38 trillion by September based on some amounts. And you've got $7 trillion in debt that needs to be refinanced just this year.
Right, so it is the case that once the debt ceiling gets extended in this bill, it's going to give us the ability to rebuild the Treasury General account. And so there will be a significant amount of issuance that takes place in order to move us away from the extraordinary measures that we have had to operate since January 2nd. The Biden administration did not leave us in a sound fiscal situation. And as the secretary himself has said, it took us a while to get into this fiscal situation. We are working as fast as possible to put us back on a viable path, but that is not going to happen overnight. The objective is to bring deficits down over time so that we get back to that 3% of GDP fiscal deficit target that the secretary has laid out, because if the economy is growing faster than that, then those deficits are sustainable. And so we are going to have to increase the amount of the debt ceiling. We are going to have to rebuild off of the fiscal situation that the Biden administration left us in. But because of this bill and because of the overall agenda of this administration, we are putting ourselves on a path to a sustainable fiscal situation.
Guys, and it is beautiful because what I love is when I get to show you things on our channel where these left-wing news outlets cannot help it. They have to admit that what Trump is doing is good, it's right, it's America first, and it is lovely, guys. Enjoy this. I hope you got some popcorn, guys, to enjoy this, because this is what we voted for.
Look how much we've been collecting in revenues. And I did this in part because Wilfred's here and he can talk about the UK trade deal, but just this is the monthly numbers. And they have gone up a lot. June is actually set for another big increase of $27 billion. That is money coming into U.S. coffers from tariffs. We are collecting a lot of revenue. So far, guys, $121 billion has flowed into the U.S. government since the start of the fiscal year. It's still a tiny portion of the overall revenues that the U.S. government gets, but it's increasingly a lot. especially we haven't seen it in terms of the consumer paying.
Guys, look at this chart. This is the Trump effect, baby. Show some love in the chat, guys, because if you appreciate what Trump is doing, look at the line of tariff revenue. And look at that huge spike at the very end and where it's going, because Trump is putting America first. No longer is America getting ripped off from what we've seen, guys, in the past. This is winning for America. Random Car, thank you so much for the super chat. Said Elon's American company got screwed by Congress. I think it did. And that's why he's going after everybody, guys. Look at this. This guy's got $400 billion in net worth. He says it is obvious with the insane spending of this bill, which increases the debt ceiling by a record $5 trillion, that we live in a one-party country, the Porky Pig Party. Time for a new political party that actually cares about the people. Guys, God, this is crazy. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is coming from Elon Musk. A big time used to be supporter of Trump, but now this big beautiful bill, he is not anymore. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Sweet Kitten, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. I want to show you this, guys, because again, Scott Bessent is going to change everything with the interest rates, with this what's coming in the big beautiful bill. This is winning for America. Listen to this.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says that Democrats are holding things up.
We are moving toward a vote today. And look, the 20 hours doesn't worry me, because it's just the Democrats trying to obstruct this one big, beautiful bill. President Trump has incredible momentum from the border to Israel, Iran. Now we're going to bring it home on the tax bill, and then we'll do trade next week. It's just the Democrats trying to stop the president's momentum.
I think we're up to 25 hours now, and the president turning up the heat, warning that 68% of Americans will get a tax increase if the bill fails to pass, calling it perhaps the most important bill in American history. But the margin is razor thin, and the fiscal hawks are circling. J.D. Vance is working on the Hill right now. We're going to see if the MAGA agenda gets another major win, or if Washington strikes back. We're looking at a Dow, Kenny, that's up 400 and change at the moment.
Guys, and what you're seeing too, this is big, because now it's going over to where? It's going over to the House to finalize, guys. But now that this big, beautiful bill is passed, we're seeing some big stuff now. Listen to this.
Was the tiebreaker, the vice president. The SNAP carve out. So these are, this is
food stamps.
Food stamps. Thank you. I love how the British gentleman over here has to redneck speak for me. The SNAP carve-out, the food stamp carve-out, intended just for Lisa Murkowski, Alaska, that is coming together in the big, beautiful bill. This is from Paul Winfrey. Would literally reward all states who can get their payment error rates above 13% by delaying the work requirements. It literally encourages waste, fraud, and abuse. That's what they offered up to get Lisa Murkowski to vote for it. I'm assuming the no's were Rand
Mike
Paul,
Davis, let's hit
Tillis,
and
Collins.
then Susan Collins.
Yep.
And that's it.
I just want to get back to the growth story with you, Kenny, for a second. 3 to 3.5% GDP growth. It's possible, certainly under this formula.
Yep.
The tax cuts help stimulate that for people, for individuals, consumers, which are 2/3 of our economy, but also for businesses. But it's the part that you can't touch.
That's right. Right, and
until it happens.
Right, it's the unknown at the moment. To your point, right? So I think it very well can happen. We've seen it. We saw what the Atlanta GDP is forecasting. So I'm very much in the camp that if the second half of the year turns out to be as good as everyone thinks it is, analysts and strategists, that we can certainly make that.
You know what hurts growth? Spending $1.2 trillion on interest every year.
Right, 100%, which is
get the rates down.
So it hasn't fully passed yet. It has not been signed into law. But this Senate bill, as was written, $5 trillion increase in the debt ceiling. That's why Rand Paul, the senator, did not vote for it. The Treasury Department, if it passes, will immediately borrow $1 trillion to replenish its cash count. On top of that, it has to refinance $7 trillion plus in debt in the next year.
Rolling over.
Yeah.
Right. So we're going to have $38 trillion in debt by September. And is the market going to digest that? Is the market going to step up? Because we're staring at, I'm being nice about this, but the 10-year yield, 4.25,
Yep.
it really hasn't budged. It should be lower. It's not. Because of the inflation risk and because of the recklessness of spending.
Right.
Because investors are sitting back going, I'm not gonna, it's why Treasury Secretary Bessent yesterday admitted that they're not going to right-size the maturity schedule right now, extending the maturity schedule to the 10-year because he thinks the 10-year yield's too high by one standard deviation, so that's a full percentage point. But investors won't loan the federal government money because of the interest rate risk at 4.25.
Which means if they try to go and refinance, so much supply is going to come to the market. The investors, the buyers are going to pull back. And that's going to cause those rates to go higher.
So they have
Guys, and that's why Trump's not stupid. He knows that all this has to happen. We have to refinance $7 trillion in the debt, and that's why this is about to happen, guys. And more now that the Senate has fully passed this bill, they expect for the House to just go through and get it done. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is now fast-tracking replacing Jerome Powell in the next coming weeks. Jerome Powell, after all this wins, low inflation, economy is growing, record amount of money coming in through tariffs, still hasn't lowered interest rates. And Trump wants them below 1%. If Switzerland can have them under 1%, then why can't America when we're the number one superpower in the world? And now this is about to happen fast, and everybody, guys, is calling them out. Even in the White House press secretary, guys, we show you everything that's going on. This is big. Listen to this.
And if you look at this chart, this is a chart of all of the interest rates of many countries throughout the world. At the top is Switzerland. They're only paying a quarter for interest rates. Cambodia, Japan, Denmark, Thailand, Botswana, Barbados, Taiwan, Bulgaria, Cuba, Sweden, Morocco, Cabo Verde, South Korea, Algeria, Canada, Albania, Libya, Malaysia, China, New Zealand, Trinidad and Tobago, Czechia, Bolivia, Australia, Costa Rica, the Bahamas, Kuwait, Papua New Guinea, Bosnia, United Kingdom, and the UAE are all paying lower interest rates than the United States of America, which has one of the hottest and strongest economies in the world. The president sent this note to the Fed chair. It says, Jerome, you are as usual too late. You have cost the USA a fortune and continue to do so. You should lower the rate by a lot. Hundreds of billions of dollars are being lost, and there is no inflation. And if you look
again, no inflation. What is Jerome Powell doing, guys? There's lots of things that are moving around, guys, and I'm trying to show you everything that's happening because Trump is not playing around. Not only is he going to lower the interest rates by replacing the Fed chair, not only is he working to removing if more people that are not natural citizens here but got citizenship, they're committing crimes right here. The Trump DOJ has begun to prioritize stripping naturalized citizens of the U.S. citizenship when they were charged with crimes. The handouts that have been given out, $250 billion a year. Guys, this is no joke. $250 billion a year that is giving out to illegal non-citizens from taxpayers. Trump says not anymore. We have to stop this. And even too, guys, I think you're going to appreciate this a lot. Border Czar Tom Homan confirms that a federal investigation is underway into Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for allegedly employing a criminal alien on her congressional staff and instructing them on how to evade ICE. Guys, no more. This is like we are past all this, guys. We're so past all this just lying, cheating, fraud, corruption. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, because we got some more news of what's coming out now, especially for the interest rates to bring the United States into an economic boom. Listen to this.
Pages.
Yeah,
and this
sure
is what I love. When it comes at least to the Democrats, they're always saying, oh, pass the 1,000-page bill and read it later. But we had to talk about it for 25 hours last night before anybody could start,
That was a
voting.
Nancy Pelosi quote when she
Yes.
said, we have to pass it first to understand what's in it. Are you kidding?
Don't get me wrong. These tax cuts needed to be made permanent.
Yeah.
Yes. The Democrats, and the headline should be, every single Democrat in the Senate just voted to raise your taxes.
Yep.
Every single Democrat in the Senate just voted for the biggest tax hike in American history. That's what they stand for. They stand for crushing the working man and crushing the working woman. For what? Because they're anti-Trump. And that's the end of it.
And can I quantify that for you?
all
This
just
average
anti-Trump.
tax increase would be anywhere from 7 to 8%. And I was making the point earlier this morning that while the rate of inflation has slowed, yes, and that's a good thing because prices don't just keep going higher, the price increases, many of them that we saw, are stuck there. The price of a cup of coffee went up and it really never came down. So people are struggling still to make ends meet. And that's why these tax cuts matter. Because at the end of the day, it's about household budgeting. Your wages didn't go up enough to keep up with the amount that prices did go up. And so people cannot afford that. And basically, at the end of the day, if they don't get this tax break, you're going to pay out of pocket. Households don't have that kind of wiggle room.
Every single Democrat wants you to pay taxes on your tips. Every single Democrat wants you to pay taxes on your, want you to get a break on your Social Security income. Every single
Guys, and I have the names because I want to bring you everything on what Republicans voted against the big beautiful bill. J.D. Vance was the casting tie-breaking vote. Senator Susan Collins voted against it. Rand Paul voted against it. Tom Tillis voted against it. So two other Republicans, David Schweikert and Andrew Garbarino, did not vote. So this is why they needed the tie-breaking vote. Rand Paul said he wasn't going to vote for it, and he didn't. And even guys, this is like these three people Trump said he's going after to primary them who did not vote for his big, beautiful bill. Do you support that? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because now, again, we have Elon Musk who is saying that he is going to primary every single senator that voted for this bill in the 2026 midterms, guys. And he's got enough money to do it.
Democrat wants you to pay taxes on your overtime because they don't give a flying damn about the working man and woman. Or anybody,
And this is
quite
the
frankly,
party full of
anybody
working
but
man
them.
and woman.
They don't care about anybody but themselves. I'm going to shut up.
No.
But
I would just go have some fun. And if you want to have some fun, Elon Musk is out over the weekend and is sort of coming back out and highlighting the debt and the deficit issue again. So he had been very quiet, and I think a lot of people agree you have to pass the bill. Don't let perfect get in the way of good. This is good enough, even though it's not perfect.
Right.
But he is absolutely continuing to make the case that the spending cuts aren't good enough, that the deficit numbers aren't good enough.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of people look at that and also sometimes feel sympathy towards that point of view of, I voted for a little bit more. Therein lies the rub.
He's your Doge guy. So he's the one who, took the chainsaw out and tried to find places to trim the fat. So he looks at this and that's his view. And I'm not saying that that's...
Guys, and remember, we bring you the receipts. What's going on right now? Elon Musk has announced that he will officially launch the America Party the next day if and when Trump's spending bill passes. We have so far over 2,100 votes, or 2,100 votes in our polling. Do you support Trump and MAGA? 95% say yes. Do you support Elon Musk and the American Party? 3%, and then neither, 3%. Overwhelmingly, people are MAGA, but this is, guys, when you're talking about somebody with almost $500 billion, guys, with a T, $500 billion in money, that can buy a lot of elections. 100%. And if he does this, and I mark my words, guys, if Elon Musk follows through, he will replace 2/3 of the Senate and the Congress with super fiscally responsible people. But in the turn, I promise you, they will pass a bill that a person like Elon Musk cannot use his billions and billions of dollars to change and primary people again. So we'll see what happens, guys. This is big.
Wrong, that it is wrong. It's not.
The tell about concern from investors about the long-term fiscal picture of the United States and inflation is your 30-year. So it's close, still pretty close to 5%, 4.8%. If investors thought inflation was going down to 2%, they'd be all over that yield because that would be a 3% long-term real return. 3% for 30 years is doggone good. But they are not willing.
And Treasury.
And the very fact that the Treasury Department is not issuing new debt at that duration or at that maturity is evidence that there's just not demand out there for it.
And treasuries aren't taxed the same way equities
That's
are
true.
with capital gains. So really, your return is typically even a little bit higher than what you would expect it to be, with the risk that you'd have to take to be in the equity market, which people are buying up today.
When I say risk.
And this is big, guys. I want you to hear, they asked Trump, guys, let me tell you this. Your boy, I bust my butt because I want you to hear clearly what Trump says, even whenever they're doing a dang thing by his by the planes and it's super loud, really can't understand what's going on. But I've got it for you right here. I want to show you the difference, guys, because I hope you appreciate this. Listen to this right here. This is what Trump said about going after Elon Musk, deporting him, and Doge going after Elon Musk. So this is the original version.
I don't know. I think we'll have to take a look.
All right, I can't listen to that, guy. So I fixed it for you. I hope you appreciate it. If you do, show some love in the chat. This is the fixed version.
I don't know. I think we'll have to take a look. We might have to put Doge on Elon. You know what Doge is? Doge is the monster that might have to go back and eat Elon. Wouldn't that be terrible? He gets a lot of subsidies, Peter. But Elon's very upset that the EV mandate is going to be terminated. And you know what? When you look at it, not everybody wants an electric car. I don't want an electric car. I want to have maybe gasoline, maybe electric, maybe a hybrid, maybe someday a hydrogen. If you have a hydrogen car, it has one problem. It blows up, So I'm going to give that one to Peter. I'm going to let Peter toss it off.
So, guys, again, Doge, Elon, Trump, we got a big fight going on right now. But one of the big persons who's standing up that's fighting for and bringing out the truth over the big, beautiful bill is our boy Stephen Miller. I want you to hear from him over the stuff that's actually in the bill. $10,000 going to the average, typical American family, guys. This is life-changing money, guys. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, listen to this.
Advisor Stephen Miller. I know I went through all the reasons I support this bill. Largest tax cut in history, no tax on tips, overtime, secures the border, helps deport criminals, brings America closer to energy dominance, which I think makes us rich. It builds out the next generation of weaponry. It's a very dangerous world. A lot of great stuff in there. One of the most conservative bills I've ever supported in my life, to be honest.
Sean, I've spent my entire life in the conservative movement. Since I was a kid in high school, working, dreaming of the day where we could have a piece of legislation like what exists right now, Sean, what President Trump has brought to the precipice of passage. Each and every one of the...
Right there, guys. One big beautiful bill increased standard deduction for seniors and Social Security recipients. They had it at $4,000 in the House. The Senate actually increased it with an amendment to $6,000 for our seniors and the Social Security recipients. So to make sure that anybody that makes under $100,000 does not pay any taxes on if you're getting that straight from Social Security.
Individual titles in this bill would be considered one of the great achievements in the history of the conservative movement. The title, for example, building the missile defense shield for the United States of America, Sean, so we can be safe, our children can be safe from foreign adversaries in this growing era of intercontinental ballistic missiles as nations race for supremacy. The section on this bill enshrining border and homeland security, this is the most far-reaching border security proposal, homeland security proposal in my lifetime. Sean, not just my lifetime, going back to Eisenhower, going back to since we've had conversations about the border, Sean. I take this seriously. I've stood by the families whose kids have been murdered by illegal aliens. We made them a promise. Most importantly, the American people voted to fulfill that promise in the last election. This bill fulfills it. It is the largest tax cut and reform in American history. No tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime, 100% expensing for new factories. Think about that. Every single business owner with a dream of manufacturing in America can deduct 100% of that cost to make the American dream come true here in the United States. Here's another one for you, Sean. The largest welfare reform in American history. Work requirements on food stamps, work requirements on Medicaid, the two largest welfare programs that exist, and now we are attaching work requirements to...
Right there, guys, on the screen. Predicted to generate over $4 trillion in economic growth from tax permanence. So right now, we run a $2 trillion deficit. $4 trillion in new economic growth? That's pretty big. If we can do that with that coming every single year, that can put us in a $2 trillion surplus. And this is what I feel like Trump sees and knows that nobody else knows and is willing to bet this long shot of, hey, we are raising the debt ceiling by $5 trillion. We are got some stuff in there that we really don't want to be in there. But if we can bring this growth with the External Revenue Service, if we can allow the manufacturing to grow in America, we will outgrow our spending, continue to find the fraud, waste, and abuse through Doge, and then continue to root out all the rhinos, and we will win. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Remember, guys, Trump is playing chess. Everybody's playing checkers.
Those programs. Orders of magnitude larger than the welfare reform that Republicans enacted into law in the 1990s. I am sick and tired of the lies about this bill that have been perpetrated by opportunists who are trying to make a name for themselves. This is the most conservative bill in my lifetime. Tax cuts, defense, border security, homeland security, welfare reform, and the largest spending cut in one bill that has ever been enacted. So, Sean, let's work together. Let's pass this bill. Let's get it to President Trump's desk by July 4th.
You know, and Democrats are voting for the largest tax increase in American history. Democrats are abandoning working men and women, not supporting no tax on tips or overtime. They're voting for open borders. They're voting for higher energy prices. They're voting not to modernize our defense systems. And they've got to own that vote, and that will be on them. And I think it will be a major issue, in a year and a half from now. Anyway, happy 4th of July, Stephen Miller. We appreciate.
Guys, again, what I want to show you is that the biggest thing that's going to change everything that we're seeing now, because remember, there's a lot of executive orders that have not been codified into law. We need to win the midterms in order to have enough votes to get things passed. So right here, this is probably as important just as passing the big, beautiful bill. Marjorie Taylor Greene has introduced a bill to mandate the census only count U.S. citizens in determining congressional seats. If they do this, Democrats are estimated to lose 27 seats in Congress. She posted and said, I just got off the phone with President Trump. I told him about my new bill I introduced that will save Americans' elections from ever being stolen again. This would require U.S. Census Bureau to conduct a new census immediately upon enactment of the bill, and conducting the new census of the U.S. population, it shall require questions that determine the citizenship of each individual and count only U.S. citizens. Only. This happens immediately. Everything changes, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you appreciate the receipts, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, we are living in history right now. The bill has officially passed in the Senate. They expect it to pass. This was the vote 51-50 with J.D. Vance being the tiebreaker vote. Lots of amendments, lots of things for American families, big wins for Americans, but also we have now the new fight with Elon Musk and Trump again. But we're going to keep you up to date, guys. To everybody who's watching, if you're not subscribed, please consider joining our family here at TrueLife News, hitting that subscribe button so that we can serve you every day with the top news. I want to say thank you to everybody who is watching, to all of our viewers, all of our members of the channel, and thank you to everybody that gives a super chat donation. Remember, when you donate a super chat, when you are a member of the channel, we take this money and we donate live on stream on the 22nd of every single month. You see this guy right here donating money to local charities. And to this month, it'll be a local children's home to help out kids that don't got anybody, but they got us. This channel will be known for bringing the truth and changing lives. I want to give some love to Lydia Erickson, Pamela Conley, Justin Hart, Pamela Conley for giving 5 TrueLife News memberships, Karen Lawhorn, Gregosaurus, Ernestine Corey, Susan Fitzpatrick, Random Car, Sweet Kitten, James Huber. Show them some love in the chat, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for liking our videos, sharing our videos, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.